Hello, collective. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Ooh, we've got some good stuff going on. It is July 2nd already, 2025, and the time is 4:50 p.m. Let's tap right in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us. Thanks for being here, everybody. Storyline for the collective, please, Spirit. Storyline for the collective. All right. In the central energy, Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Whew. So opportunities are opening up for you. Taking creative action. In the challenge position. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So somebody's resisting change. They're going through a negative phase. And we've got the Eight of Wands reversed also. They're frustrated and they miss their opportunity. They don't have any energy. In the subconscious, the Knight of Wands. So we've got somebody is in an Ace of Wands energy. They're looking for a new opportunity. They're coming forward as a Prince Charming. They're challenged because they don't have any control and they're in a panic. They miss their opportunity. In the recent past, Judgment. Judgment has been called. This is a new phase. Yeah, he who has all authority said that they would get what they deserve. Everybody's going to get what they deserve, and it's happening. Intentions and expectations. Strength. Courage. In the near future, Six of Swords, releasing the baggage. Letting it go, leaving it behind, taking off, going to calmer waters. the lens that's being looked through is the hierophant. In the environment, King of Cups. So we've got a diplomatic, sensitive, loving leader here. Hopes and fears. Lovers, deep love, union, alignment. And the outcome, the outgoing energy. We've got the Five of Wands reversed. Peace, an end to the conflict, respecting the differences. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Wands, reconciliation, and leaving home. So you may be going somewhere. You've learned a lot of new skills here with the Page of Pentacles. Could be some kind of news, some kind of information that has somebody in the Moon energy and the Nine of Swords energy. Fear, anxiety, nightmares, trauma, despair. And then we've got sacrifice here. So they're letting go of the illusions. All of the illusions are being let go. Queen of Swords is here setting clear boundaries. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles. Your hard work, you persevered, and you're coming into your reward, which is the Six of Pentacles, and you're sharing the wealth here. And the Empress, High Priestess, gets a new beginning. Collective energy, please, Spirit, collective energy. Ace of Wands, new beginnings for divine love, new opportunities, potential beginnings, passionate beginnings. You've grown a lot. You've got the Ten of Cups, love here, divine love, total love and support. So the challenge is breaking cycles. You're breaking the cycles. Things are slowing down. We've got this knight here. I don't know. Well, let's just check it out. What else we got here in the challenge? So you're challenged by breaking cycles. Okay, so you're challenged by a Queen of Cups reversed. They're having a phase of bad luck. They're frustrated. They don't have any energy. They're panicking. They don't have any love. They're a Queen of Cups reversed. They're codependent, insecure. We've got a Knight of Wands here in the subconscious, passionate, sexy, and charming. And the Hierophant reversed. So you're thinking about this Knight of Wands is coming in trying to be Prince Charming, acting impulsively. They're in the Hierophant reversed energy. Hypocrite. Going against the grain, unconventional, foolish ideals. There's judgment in the recent past. Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Strength card here, intentions and expectations. The Moon is reversed. So there's no fear, there's no illusions, everything's out in the open. About Ace of Cups reversed. About those who have no love in them. So you're very strong. Your strength has broken up the illusions regarding people who have no love. And you're leaving them behind here with the Six of Swords energy. The relationship is ending with these who have no love in them. They don't know how to feel. And because you know the truth of it. Relationship is ending, leaving them behind. You're transitioning. You've got the Hierophant here. Bringing about death. That's the Most High God. Is bringing an end to this cycle. The need for vengeance is in the history. There is some stuff going on. We've got the love of Divine Masculine in the environment. King of Cups. Self-imposed restriction. He might be binding something or someone. The Hierophant is bringing about death, and we've got the love of the loving Divine Masculine here. He's in control, and he's like what? Dealing with some kind of imprisonment, dealing with some kind of entrapment, making absolute decisions. We're going to get some more, he could be binding people away from the divine love. We'll get some more clarification. There is a strength of two together here. High Priestess. So there's a High Priestess here. And there is a desire to end this conflict. Somebody is in Nine of Swords energy. They can't sleep. They're having a nightmare. They can't believe this. The High Priestess is in this union here. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles was bringing conflict. There's judgment being called on a Queen of Pentacles. We've got the King of Pentacles creating conflict, trying to steal. He's in a tower. He's in a tower. The sun is bringing him a tower. Or the exposure, the sun got this all up in a mess. And they're doing it very, very strong. Very, very courageous, very, very strong. They're putting up they're making very difficult decisions regarding this betrayal here. Could be at a crossroads. Heavily burdened. It might be this King of Swords completion of a heavy burden. And then we've got unified love with the Two of Cups and the World card here. It's a completion of a cycle. You're coming into unified love. And it's a new beginning. A brand new beginning. There might be some reevaluation regarding a foundation of the Lovers. Contemplating it. You're not in it for the money. Somebody's disconnected from the Lovers. The strength of the two together in this new beginning is causing a disconnect. For what? Prince Charming of the history. Yeah, so the Lovers, the true Lovers are coming together, so Mr. Prince Charming is out. We've got Queen of Wands calling judgment here. And there's a celebration because you're coming into the Ten of Pentacles, wealth, and a Nine of Pentacles, fruits of your labor, and you're sharing it, you're giving it away, you're giving it to the community, to the family. Yeah. And there is new ways of communicating. We've got some curious youngers, but we've got the law of cause and effect here. So justice is happening for the youngers, for the Page of Swords, or for the truth of the younger. And then we've got leaving home again, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. So yeah, there's leaving home. We've got the pages. So the pages, this came out the other day. The youngers are being like given another shot, it looks like. Too young to know better. Or they just were multi-dimensional beings in a duality world of duality. So they're getting another shot. Take it as it resonates. So there's a lot of new opportunities here with the Ace of Wands. A lot of passionate opportunities. You've got an urge to create together. Divine love, total love and support, family contentment. Dreams are coming true. Somebody is in a Ten of Swords. We've got betrayal. Somebody has been utterly defeated. They've hit rock bottom. Because you've got total love and support now. Yeah, so whoever betrayed you, they're in a Ten of Swords energy. They've been utterly defeated by divine love. They don't have any control with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They're going through a negative phase. Eight of Wands reversed. They're in a panic. They're frustrated. They don't have any energy. Queen of Cups reversed. Codependent. Insecure. They only care about themselves. And they're also challenged because you're giving generously to the community. It's like they're in a Ten of Swords. They are in an utter defeat. You've got the Ten of Cups and you're sharing it. And these people are challenged by that. They're not happy. You know, because they had the wealth and they were hoarding it. And you got the wealth and you're distributing it. You're creating something nice. Oh, there it went. There it is, Toby. Oh. So, yeah, we've got Mr. Charming coming in real quick. He's got unconventional, foolish beliefs, and he's following them. He's in the star energy reversed. So there's despair here. He's in a Ten of Swords energy, utter defeat, despair. He doesn't have any light. They have no energy. This Knight of Wands could be a Queen of Cups reversed. Take it as it resonates. So Judgment is here. There's a reckoning, a new phase for this Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is successful here, has a victory. This could be the protectress. This could be a protectress. Take it as it resonates. It could be a parent. It could be somebody who's in support here. You may be a member of this Ten of Cups union. You're very strong here with the Strength card. You're busting out all the illusions. You're uncovering all the illusions regarding those who don't have any love in them. Ten of Wands. There's no love, like they're being stripped of love. They're not giving their love to anybody. Somebody's feeling overwhelmed and burdened because they don't have any energy. And you're giving all the money away, but they're not getting any. You're leaving them behind. Six of Swords, the relationship is ending with third party weirdness, and you know the truth of it, because you know the truth of it. And we got the Queen of Wands here. The Hierophant is here, bringing death. Death to chivalrous romantic proposals. It's the end of a cycle for chivalrous romantic proposals. These people who don't take connection, intimate connection, seriously. The King of Cups is here, and we've got restrictions, feeling trapped. Could be that he's very emotional. He's in control. He's making decisions. Imprisonment, about imprisonment. Somebody's, look, Eight of Swords. It's right there twice. We got two Eight of Swords out here. Now, whether it's this King of Cups that's feeling like a victim, I don't know. Or he could just be working to bind those who aren't into sacred connections. We've got the Lovers here, the strength of two together, and it's high moral connection. the high priestess and the hierophant. It's purity. It's none of this low vibrational crap. Five of Cups, disappointment. Somebody's in regret. Somebody's in regret. They're feeling like a victim. Eight of Swords twice in the environment. And hopes and fears, we've got the Five of Cups. They're sad. They're really in regret because this high priestess is in a new union. We're going to end this conflict, and somebody's in a nightmare. They can't sleep. Something is happening very quickly. Could be air travel. They might not be able to sleep because there's a lot going on in their mind. They might have a racing mind about this cheating. Or there's going to be a Page of Swords here wanting to cheat. Or he's talking about a liar, cheater, scammer. Shining a light on a Knight of Swords. Or there could be a Knight of Swords that is searching for the truth. There is a Page of Cups and a Page of Wands here that's about young spirituality, enthusiastic to learn. But we've also got a Five of Pentacles and an Eight of Cups here. Disappointed. They failed at their attempt and there's a scandal. Knight of Pentacles is released, Hanged Man, out of the Queen of Cups energy because the King of Swords knows the truth. And they're in a nightmare and despair. Nine of Swords, they're having anxiety bad because you're celebrating and you're successful here. And they got disconnected from you. They don't get an offer of marriage with the Empress, and there's the World. So we've got the High Priestess, the Empress, the World turns. The Hierophant is here with the love of Divine Masculine regarding marriages, motherhood, and such. And look, the Hierophant is here again, turning the wheel on inheritance on these pentacles. And what's so funny is that there's these people, you know, they've been living on stolen wealth for generations, and so when the Most High comes to retrieve all of that and give it to where it needs to go, they're like calling God a thief. And it's like, well, you know, I mean, they've been stealing and stealing and stealing for generations, and it never belonged to them, whatever it is they think. So it's wild, you know, because they're out there accusing people of doing magic. You know, people who've never done magic, they're accusing of doing magic. And it's like if they would stop throwing out these bad intentions and evil mindsets, you know, energies, then maybe they would stop being returned to them. But they continue to do it. Divine Mother, in one of her aspects, over a year ago, said to be prepared that they won't survive, and that's because everything that they're putting out is coming back to them, and it's probably coming back to them you know, increased. So because that's happening, they're thinking that somebody else is doing it to them, and it's like, you're just getting it back, your intentions, you know. And they're mad. They're calling people a thief. They're calling God a thief, you know, because he's given stuff back to this High Priestess that their great-great-great-great-grandparents or whoever or whatever took from the High Priestess. So there's a lot of passionate, new passionate opportunities here with the Ten of Cups, divine love. Somebody has been utterly defeated because you've come together here. And they want to compromise. Third-party enemies want to compromise. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. Those who betrayed love and union, now they want to compromise. They're being cast out. And you gain. Them gaining off of you, them taking the gain that belongs to eternal love is over. They're being stopped. And they want to apologize. They don't know what to do. Their fate is dealing with whatever they bound themselves to, trying to get your adventure wearing masks. So there's no compromise. You're breaking the cycle. They have no control. They're panicking here. They miss their opportunity. They're codependent. There's no love in them. They could be a Knight of Wands and a Queen of Cups reversed energy. They're challenged because you've got the Six of Pentacles. You've got a new job. These ones are losing their freedom. They're being barred. They can't come toward you. You've got the Six of Pentacles. You're giving generously to your community, but these ones are not getting anything. They're panicking. They could be panicking over your new job, your new status. Coming in as a Knight of Wands, Prince Charming, using unorthodox, hypocritical, hierophant reversed teachings. They're in a star reversed energy. They're in despair. They don't have any light. They don't have any energy. They're arrogant. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept that it's over. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept that it's over. They're very arrogant. They keep pushing in. They keep doing work. They keep making the Most High God work for it. They won't just stop. So they have to be forced. There's judgment here, a new phase for a Queen of Pentacles who's in a Six of Wands energy. She's victorious and stopped. So full stop. This malarkey is being stopped. This is a protectress. She's victorious over her what she's got going on here, and she's stopping these people. She's very strong. She has busted through the illusions, shined a light on the illusions. Her strength has other people insecure and confused. Ace of Cups is in the reverse. They have no love. They are suffering an emotional blockage. They're in a Ten of Wands energy, overworked and heavily burdened because of your strength. You've got a victory here and they've been stopped. They have to carry their own cross. Blessing. You're a blessing. You were a blessing. They're carrying a Ten of Wands burden because they were coming after your blessing. You're in the Six of Swords energy. This relationship is ending. You're in an Ace of Swords energy. You know the truth about it. You're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're confident and you are not backing down. You're like, you want to live your life and you want to live it without, look, we've got mask wear. Somebody might be pretending to be a Queen of Wands. We'll get more clarification. They might be pretending to be a Queen of Wands, but you know the truth of it. Hierophant is here bringing about a death to romantic proposals. These marriages and other things are going to be done differently. That's going to be done differently now. We've got ready. There's preparations being made. Yeah, there's death to chivalrous romantic proposals. Preparations are being made. The King of Cups is here, but there's also negative thoughts and feeling trapped. This is the conclusion. You have gained. The Lovers is here. The Strength of two together. The High Priestess is high morals, and she's in this union here. Somebody's disappointed over this high value person. They're in regret over how they treated this person. They're feeling like a victim. We want to end this conflict. Somebody's in a nightmare. They're in despair. Something's happening very quickly. And then we've got something's happening very quickly for lying, cheating, stealers. Or it could just be that you're coming into your reward very quickly and they know it. It's happening very quickly and they're in despair. They're having a nightmare. They can't sleep. You love yourself. Your self-love gave you a win. You loved yourself to health. You loved yourself through this, and you've got the win. You've triumphed. You're coming into your reward. These ones are stressed out. Their mental body is all chaotic, and that's justice. Whatever they've been calling out on you to make you sick is coming back on them. These indulgent ones need to learn a lesson about magic and putting it on people like they have been. So they have lost their goal. They are experiencing losses while you've reached your goal. Their goal was to have you lose everything. They made a vow to mentally disturb you. They worked really hard at it. They could have come back on them. And they're in danger. They're getting separated here. And they got to go survive on their own. They got to go survive all on their own. Why? Because they were dominating the gift, giving them nightmares, tormenting them, having them in overwhelm and overload. But the Most High saw them, gave them mercy, and brought peace to their world. And these other ones fell into a trap. They're feeling like a victim. They're feeling like they got tricked. Because you still have inner peace and having sweet dreams. And you're on schedule. Whatever the schedule is, you're on it. You've got a network of friends here and you are okay. They see you as a sweetheart. You're in union. And these ones are frightened. They're paranoid now because you've received a miracle. And they got to go deal with all this misfortune now. They're protesting. All that stuff that they put out into the world is coming back on them. And they're insisting that you're doing magic, you know. But if you're like me, you never have done magic. All you've done is withstand years of 24/7, day after day after day, for years of these many mask wearers putting out magic. And now it's all coming back on them, probably all at once. And of course it's going to be devastating. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And the High Priestess did not go militant, did not become full of malice, did not take that role on as her own, because it wasn't. So she's getting a new family tree. And those who were trying to rob her are made blind. There's death here. They're going to lose their sight. They're going to lose their gifts. There's death there too. So, because of trickery and fraud. Okay, so you've got an Ace of Wands, passionate and very, very strong beginning here with divine love. 10 of Cups, love, total love and support. This third-party enemy, all of these third-party enemies want to compromise. They've been defeated. They're in utter defeat. Now they want to be friends. They don't have any control. They're in a panic. They're codependent on your charity. And they're being confined. They're losing their freedom. It's like your charity is going to the community, not to these ones anymore. We've got courageous. They're challenged by your courage. Knight of Wands, potentially in a Queen of Cups reversed energy with the Hierophant reverse. So they've got hypocritical, unorthodox views. And it's faithlessness with the Star reversed. They don't have any light in them. They're stubborn. They're arrogant. They don't want to accept this. You can't trust them. You don't trust them. He's coming in wanting to be Mr. Charming. So we've got Judgment here, a new phase for the Queen of Pentacles. She's victorious with that Six of Wands energy. And there's, this is all being stopped. We're taking a break and we're entering into peace. I'm a being of love and I release all the negative energy. All the negative energy is being stopped and we're going into peace. Her strength, or the strength of this Queen of Pentacles here, has revealed all of the illusions, and it has somebody you've shown all of the illusions about these people who don't have any love in them, that are in the Ace of Cups reversed energy. They're in a 10 of Wands energy also. So they're overwhelmed, overworked, they're heavily burdened, there's no love in them. So they're just trying to get the blessing, but they haven't done any of the work. They're mean. They're very mean. You're the blessing. You honor the physical vessel that enshrines your soul. Health. So you've got the blessing of health. And you're leaving. Six of Swords energy. The relationship is ending. You know the truth about this mask wearer. Queen of Wands is here, balanced. It might be for her to tell the truth or to cut out mask wearers with the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Wands. It might be one of her jobs. Didn't we see a job here? Yeah, we did. Where was that? So the Queen of Wands knows the truth, and she's here to restore balance, perfect harmony into the world when it comes to these mask wearers. So she's going to, what? Find them. Know the truth about them. And I guess call judgment. But we've got the Hierophant here bringing around a death to chivalrous romantic proposals. They're getting ready for judgment. King of Cups. What do you got going on here, King of Cups? We've got Eight of Swords twice. We've got some, he's doing some binding. He's bringing a conclusion to the binding. He's restricting people. Game, this is a conclusion. Humor. Focusing on the lighter side of life. The lovers are here, the strength of two together. We've got the high priestess energy here with high morals. And whoever this is feeling like a victim. They're also in a 5 of cups, disappointment regarding your reward, your good life, your happiness. You're a high value person. And they wanted to knock you out, knock you down, and bury you in South Node so that they could pretend that they loved themselves. So, the outgoing energy, we've got the 5 of Wands reversed. So we want peace, we want to end this conflict, or that somebody wants to avoid further conflict. They're having anxiety with the 9 of Swords here. They can't sleep. There's a lot going on in their head. There could be a lot of swift action being taken. You're coming into your reward. The fact that you love your life and you refuse to give it up or give in to your tormentors allowed you a triumph. You're a being of service. You feel good when you can help others, and you will be able to because you've got a lot. You've earned some good merit. You've earned some good merit. Somebody is in denial. Somebody who was bringing you adversity, they're in fear and they're denying. They're in denial. They're having fear. They were bringing you adversity. They're in denial over the fact that you persevered through this. And it could be that it's their turn to persevere through fear, through adversity, and through receiving denial after denial after a denial. It could just be that the shoe is on the other foot while you're going to enter into your purpose. So those who are prideful are guilty. They've been found guilty, and they want forgiveness. They want your forgiveness here. They're worried. They're in doubt. They're having doubt. They know that you're never alone. You're a success. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. Even when you are alone, you're not alone. They know this to be very clear. Your mind is a very beautiful mind, and you see both sides of a situation. You don't have any blinders on. These ones are in regret, and they don't know what to do because they have to surrender their need to control you. There's a change coming on. We're going into loving relationships that serve the higher good and that trust the divine and have proven themselves patient while they wait for divine alignment. Those who have gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. Somebody is envious of your acceptance, the fact that you've been accepted by the Most High, and they're having to accept responsibility for their own well-being because they failed to trap you and to get you convicted of some erroneous conspiracy theory about your character or your habitual patterns or your life in general. These unseen people who you've never met are in the spiritual courts trying to get you convicted of their own projections onto you. They're altering content. They're using your pictures, catfishing you, trying to alter the audio so that it would seem that you're putting out nasty or bad messaging. You've got your freedom from this. This is over. You've got your freedom. This is over. There could be literal death happening. The message that I got last night was that there are literal heads rolling on this curator's family line or whatever, and they're in grief. You coming into abundance, you have abundant honesty. You can manifest whatever you want to in this reality. You've expanded in consciousness and awareness. You're very disciplined with what you know, and you're very thankful for life and the opportunities that it presents you, even those very, very hurtful and challenging ones. Yeah. We find out a lot about ourselves in that time. Yeah. So there's an Ace of Wands here, very passionate beginning for divine love. The third-party enemies want to compromise. They're experiencing utter defeat. They may want to be friends now. Now they understand what being a friend means, you know. They understand that there's friends are in our life for a reason, but they're a soldier. They were coming in, or they want to come in under the guise of being a friend, but they're a soldier. They've been fighting with you. It could be that these were friends at some point, and they've just been burying you and sticking you with knives in the astral while you're sleeping in your bed and doing all kinds of horrible things to your spirit, you know? Now they want to compromise. They don't have any control over you or the situation. They're in panic. They don't have any energy. They miss their opportunity. They're codependent on your love, on your generosity. They're being confined. They're losing their freedom. They're going to have to learn to face fear with confidence. These pleasure seekers, they're going to need to learn how to be courageous in the same role that they force you to wear or be in. Knight of Wands could be in the Queen of Cups reverse energy. He's definitely in a Hierophant reverse energy. Foolish, unconventional, hypocritical belief system. They don't have any faith. They don't have any faith in anything. They're in despair. They're stubborn. They're arrogant. They don't want to hear it. They don't trust. You can't trust this person. He's disconnected from the inner voice. He doesn't trust the inner voice. He has no faith in anything. He's despair. So this is a person that poses as though they are religious, but they don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in any of that stuff. They're in despair because you don't trust them, because they've lost their connections. They never had their connections. We've got judgment here. It could be that there's a rebirth. There's a new phase going on for the Queen of Pentacles. She's got a Six of Wands victory. And we're stopping. She's bringing a full stop. She's victorious, and this is ending. We're going into a time of peace. And those prideful people who are haughty, they're suffering a misfortune. They're being stopped. They can't mess with you anymore. They still want to. They're still doing what they do, you know. But you're very, very strong here. You've cast light. You've shed light on the illusions. You've broken the illusions. These people have no love in them. You have no love for them. They're in a Ten of Wands burden. They're feeling overwhelmed. You've got your health and you've got your blessing. You're very strong. Money. And you've got money. And you've got money. So the relationship is ending with these ones. You know the truth of it. Queen of Wands is here dealing with this mask wear, restoring harmony in the world. And we've got house in the reverse. So the mask wearer doesn't get a house. They might be losing their house. They might be losing their flesh suit. They don't get a house. They're deceptive. She knows the truth of it with the Ace of Swords here. Relationship with the mask wearer is ending. They don't get a house. They don't get to participate or receive anything from the services of this high priestess. There won't be any gifts going to mask wearers who are deceptive when it comes to love and friendship. The Hierophant is here. We got death. 2, chivalrous, romantic proposals. We're getting ready, making preparations for judgment. And wife. They're under judgment for what they did to this wife. Could be the Hierophant's wife, because we've got the High Priestess here with the Lover's card. They're under judgment for what they did to her. King of Cups is here. King of Cups. He's all up in his emotions. We've got somebody here that's all up in their emotions. And we've got the Eight of Swords here twice. So there's a binding, somebody's feeling victimized, they're feeling helpless. Because this is the conclusion of their happiness, or because you have gained the fruits of your labor and you're happy. They need consolation. They're praying. They're in a bad way. This King of Cups is in a bad way because you're still happy and they can't mess with you anymore. Who's this King of Cups? Is this King of Cups in an Eight of Swords energy? Oh, King of Cups and Eight of Swords energy. The Lord is sending him to the doctor. He needs consolation. The Lord is putting the skibbity pads on him, as one of the other readers out there says. They're praying, but it's like they're feeling victimized. They were pretending. They're like pretending to be a King of Cups. The Lovers here, the Strength of Two together, and High Priestess. Somebody is in regret over messing around with this high value person who is very happy. This is a thief. They were trying to, a happiness thief. This is a happiness thief, a happiness hater. They're in deep regret. They failed to get your reward. There's an ending to this conflict, or they want to end the conflict now. There's peace. They want to be at peace. They can't fight anymore. They're in a nightmare. They can't sleep. They're in despair because there's direct action. Something has happened very quickly, or there could be a lot of stuff going on in their mental body. You've come into your reward here, and you're not alone. Look. We've got self-love and triumph. So that's a masculine and a feminine. And then we've got the masculine and the feminine on the luck card, on the reward card. So they triumph together here, and then together they get the reward. This is, these are beings of service. They feel good when they can help others. Somebody's all up in their thoughts about it. Maybe they're thinking a lot about something. Maybe that's this Nine of Swords person who can't sleep. They're thinking about a surprise. They are surprised. Somebody's really surprised. They're all up in their thoughts about this. They're surprised by it. We've got, there's a friend. Supposedly there's a soldier here that was pretending to be a friend. So we got a friend here making a journey. They could be wanting to come to you, or they could be literally in the death energy, you know, transitioning into the spirit world. Somebody's waiting to go to prison, or they're going to go to prison and wait. They're sick about your faithfulness. You were true. You were loyal. You are loyal. They could not cause you to turn into a third-party hoe bag. You're a high priestess, high morals, high values. You love yourself too much to go be in that other energy there. There could be a message coming soon with a message about your love in the mind. You might be getting a telepathic message. So you got a passionate new beginning here. Ace of Wands. You're ready to go. You're all fired up. You got all this potential. Divine love, total love and support. Third-party enemies want to compromise. They betrayed you, and they've been utterly defeated. They've hit rock bottom. They were fighting with your friends, or they're trying to fight with your friends, or they were a friend who decided to fight with you. They're starting to realize what good a friend is. And we've got imposter in the reverse. You know exactly who this person is. They were pretending to be friends. They want to come in and pretend to be friends, but you know who this is. You're not fooled. They're a soldier. They're a fight. Look, they belong to a specific tribe. So they have no control. They're frustrated. They're in a panic. Everything's slowing down. They're codependent on your love. This is a Queen of Cups reverse energy, which could be who this pleasure seeker Knight of Wands is. He could be that third party hobag. They're codependent on your generosity, this pleasure seeker. They're losing their freedom due to your courage and facing fear with confidence. So this pleasure seeker is being confined. And now they're curious. How did you do it? They want to learn more. They're going to have to go study themselves, I guess, while they receive some challenges. Knight of Wands, you know, in this hypocritical, against the grain, foolish, unconventional, freaking hierophant reverse stuff. They don't have any faith. They don't have any light in them. They're in despair. They're arrogant. They don't want to hear it. You can't trust them. They don't have connection to the inner voice, to the Most High Divine. They're in despair. They're very negative. They're hiding their true intentions. Can't trust this person. They don't care about anybody's well-being. They just want to come in and have sex so that they can turn around and be vicious and cruel. You know who this is. This is a soldier. And it's not a soldier of love. It's a soldier against love. Judgment is here. A rebirth, a new phase, an absolution. Queen of Pentacles. Could be a protectress who has gained a victory and triumphed over negative Nellies here. They have been stopped. We're returning to a time of peace. All the negative energy is being released. The prideful, haughty ones are going through a disaster. Their house may literally be on fire. Dishonesty. You're not dealing with liars anymore. You're not dealing with lying third-party enemy hobags who don't even like their own gender. I swear this Knight of Wands is masquerading as a Queen of Cups reversed. Your courage and your strength has shattered the illusions, and now they're in a Ten of Wands burden. They have no love. They've been disconnected from your love. You're taking your health and your blessings and your money. They're sick about it. And they're hostile. They're hostile about it. You're healthy, you've got your blessing, you've received enlightenment, you've got a big bag of money here, and they're hostile. They're having a misfortune for being a liar, bearing false witness. You're in the Six of Swords energy. The relationship is ending with third-party enemies. You know the truth of it. Queen of Wands is here, very confident and very serious about moving forward with her life. She's not giving any houses to these mask wearers, those who lie, those who pretend, those who deceive. We're going to have a state of perfect harmony she's going to have a state of perfect harmony in her world. There may be a collaboration. She's got help. She's not alone. This mask wearer is not getting a house. They're not getting any benefits that this person's dishing out. So the Hierophant is here. Could be the Most High God bringing about a death. to chivalrous, romantic proposals. There's preparations being made for judgment, a judgment call over what they did to the wife, this wife. There's a wife here. They're under judgment. There could be a wife here thinking ahead and wondering what our relationship will be like in the future. It could be that the hierophant is thinking about this wife, this high priestess, that the lovers are here. King of Cups is feeling like a victim, feeling helpless, feeling trapped. Could be suffering an imprisonment. This is the conclusion of their game. They cannot take your game. There's humor here. They were laughing at your game. They were laughing at this conclusion. It's time for you to focus on the lighter side of life. This person's being bound. They need consolation from the Lord. They're sick. The Lord's making them sick. The Lord's like making them need a doctor. Take it as it resonates. They might be begging for forgiveness. Plans. There might be plans. He's making plans that this person should be sick. Like there could be a judgment here. Like plans for the future. They're bound. Whoever this is, they're bound. The lovers are here. The strength of two together, a deep love. This high priestess is a high moral, high value person. Whoever here is feeling like a victim, they're in a 5 of Cups energy. They're in deep regret. They failed. They're very sad about your high value, about your happiness. They tried to steal it from you for entertainment. They stole from you and had a great time. You're a high value, happy person, a sacred, high moral person. This is like the high priestess is the hierophant's wife. The Lord may be the hierophant here, bringing about death here. I don't know. There's a king of... Who's this King of Cups? King of Cups needs consolation. The Lord is making him sick. Or he's sick over the Lord. What he did to this wife. And their future. Her future. Growth. In the conflict, they're in a nightmare, they're in despair, there's rapid events, something's happening very quickly. Your ability to love yourself, or the one who loved themselves, is in a victory with this other. You're both coming into your reward. Somebody's all up in their thoughts. This is a surprise. You're a being of service, and you've grown. You've grown. It might be that you're going to be a teacher. Somebody who admires you, wants to learn from you. But their secret is that they think you're a nuisance. They feel obligated to deal with you. We've got love and travel. It's like love may be traveling. Love may be, you may be moving for love. Somebody's got bad news. They need a big favor. They need to vent something off their chest about the past. So they may want to confess. People are talking this through the grapevine. This person needs a loan. And they're hoping that you will offer them a safe space. They want to say, I'm sorry for bragging about hurting you. They need a safe space. They need you to welcome them in. They need sage advice. They're mad. They're unhappy. They want you to feel as bad. People could be yelling at each other about the work that they did. They're uncertain about the work that they did, that they're doing. It seems to be backfiring on them because they're blaming people for doing magic that have never done magic. And that's because this crap that they did wearing a mask is coming back on them. They can't blame it on you anymore. The truth is known. It wasn't you. So somebody wants your perspective. They may try to get a date with you, but they're desperate for a small favor. They need to get in your energy so that they can sabotage you and take revenge on you. So be careful, because the truth is that they're greedy, and they're really uninterested in apologizing. They just need to get revenge on you. That's all they ever think about is vengeance. There's something wrong with them. Well, what it looks like is that we've got those beings who are duality, and then they came up against a multi-dimensional high priestess and hierophant. So you've got duality, two sides of a coin, coming up against multi-dimensional, at least 7 directions within their being. So far beyond what these ones can even comprehend. They're struggling with the surprise of it. It's being announced. So there could be some announcements. You got a new opportunity for divine love with the 10 of Cups love. These third-party enemies want to compromise. They've been utterly defeated. It could be that they want to offer friendship, but you know who they are. They're a soldier. It's announced. They're a soldier. They fight against love. They want to destroy love. And they do so under the guise of being love, while they're in this intimate sexual encounter, which they just turned then into, look. They are no unicorn. There's nothing special about these people. They have no gifts. They have no... There's nothing magnificent about them. They have no control. They're going through a negative phase. They're resistant to this change. They're in panic. They don't have any energy. They're codependent on your charity. They're losing their freedom. And these pleasure seekers are curious about how you did it. How did you keep your courage up? There's nothing special about these people. They don't need to know your secrets. They're, if directions described a being, you would have 7 and they would have 2. They are not worthy of this unicorn knowledge. They can't possibly be you. I mean, at the very most, they can mimic 2 of your personalities, but it wouldn't be 100% of the time because it's not embodied. You're an oracle. So the Knight of Wands is here with a hierophant reversed. They're being foolish. They're a hypocrite. They're pretending to be something they're not. They don't have any faith. They're in despair. They're stubborn. They're arrogant. They're getting nutty in the head. You can't trust them. They don't have any connection to Source Divine. They're in despair. They don't actually care about you. They're feeling very negative about the oracle or some oracle readings. They don't want to hear it. They might want you to stop speaking. They're feeling very negative about the oracle. So we got Judgment here, a new phase, a rebirth for a Queen of Pentacles. They've got a victory here, that they've triumphed over this dishonest black square. Somebody who does the least for the most. They're being stopped. We're entering into a phase of peace. All of this negative energy is being let go. They're in misfortune. These prideful people are in a misfortune for lying. for cheating, for hurting, for going after innocence. Your strength has shattered the illusions. This is a troll, an unfriendly troll, hostile, unfriendly troll who wants your money, your health, and your blessing. They're overworked themselves. They're heavily burdened here. Because you're leaving them behind. The relationship is ending. You're not going to have anything to do with them. They're not a friend. They're a soldier. They're an enemy. They're no longer an imposter. You're not accepting imposters. They want to be a friend, and you're like, hello, you're an imposter, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. Look, no vampires allowed, man. Not going to work with the vamp. No collaborations, or you're not collaborating with a vampire, or the collaborations of the future won't include vampires or people who wear masks and pretend to be somebody they're not. They're not getting a house. You're not doing any deals with them. You're bringing a perfect state of harmony to the world. No vampires. This mask-wearing vampire is not permitted to be here. They're going away. Relationship is ending. You're releasing that baggage. The hierophant is here bringing death to chivalrous, romantic proposals that aren't sincere. They're making preparations for judgment. Wife and future. Red flag. Red flags. They ignored the red flags. We got some red flags here. Red flag. Judgment. Judgment. They're getting death because they were what? They were bringing danger to the future of this wife. They were trying to destroy her. They're in danger now. King of Cups is feeling victimized by your happy attitude, by this conclusion. And the Lord is making plans with a doctor. Somebody needs consolation. The Lord is here with a doctor making plans. I don't know what that means. Take it as it resonates. We've got the shadow demon here. It could be that they're making plans with a doctor regarding this shadow demon. We've got billionaire status. This is known worldwide. There's an influencer here that might be announcing stuff. We've got the lovers here, the strength of two together, a union. The high priestess and the hierophant are together. And somebody here, this king of cups, is in regret. Very sad. Very sad because he failed to move on this high value, happy person. They were stealing from this person and they found it very fun. And now they're sad. They're in regret. This is a starseed, a special one. That they were trying, a legendary starseed, high priestess, empath, that they were stealing from, and they thought it great fun. Oh, they're in regret now. They don't want to fight anymore. They're having a nightmare and they're in despair. They can't sleep. There's a lot of stuff going on in the air. Their mind could be boggled. You've grown. There could be a growth on them. Maybe you've grown through this experience. Your self-love has helped you triumph over this. You're coming into your reward. Both of you, hierophant and high priestess, get this reward. And you are beings of service. You feel good when you can help others. Somebody's all up in their thoughts. This is a surprise. This feral person can't stop thinking about this. They're surprised by it. A simp who does the most for somebody who cares the least. They have to give the land back. They have to give the land back. I heard the other night, give it back. That's appropriate. So people are being instructed to give back what never belonged to them or their family. And they're real mad. They don't want to. They're very hostile, unfriendly. This is a troll, and they're very angry. They're heavily burdened. And insecure. But you're not dealing with vampires. You're not given a vampire house. You're not offering any services to the vampire. The Most High God, or the take it as it resonates, stated, you won't give it back. You will never give it back. They will never get another house in your territory. They will never get an opportunity to feed on the children within that territory. They will never get an opportunity to steal from a starseed legend again. There won't be any more cohabitating with shadow demons for starseeds. There's going to be loyalty, and marriages will be different. You're not just going to go have a young love, have 3, 4, 10 dates, and then sleep together, and then just decide you don't really like each other. That's not the way it's going to happen. It's different. There'll be different arrangements for love. There's a traditional value system, and it will be witnessed the whole way through. Yeah, these ones are under judgment. They're in danger because of what they were trying to do with the future of this wife and this hierophant. Oh, he's mad. He's bringing, this is, somebody mentioned it as, when God walks with you, it's like you are the eyes and the ears, the feelings, the emotions, the sensory perceptor of the environment. And so you kind of help keep everything, keep the Most High in the know about what's going on. That's how it's omniscient and omnipresent and all of that through the members of the family, right? Seeing through everything, hearing through everything. No more vampires. We've got a heart bond. Heart bond. This is divine love. Divine passionate love. And third-party enemies have been utterly defeated by maybe your friends. Your ancestors or something. Or your new family. So they're out of control, they're in a panic, they're very frustrated, they're codependent on your love and your generosity. These are pleasure seekers who are curious about how you did it. How did you find the inner strength to overcome this? They are being confined, they're losing their freedom, and they're curious about it, but they're not a unicorn. They're not privileged to this information because they're not the unicorn. It's not their place to know. They need to go walk the walk and become whatever it is that goes with that kind of knowledge, right? We got play. They were playing around. They were playing with you. Community, Knight of Wands, a hypocrite, a hierophant reversed, no faith, in despair, stubborn, could have some stuff going on in their mind. They're not connected to the Most High God. You can't trust this person. They're in despair over, and they're in despair and they're feeling very negative about this oracle within the community. There's an oracle within the community, and they're in despair and they're feeling very negative about it. They're feeling this is a troll, and they're feeling unfriendly and hostile about your good health, your wealth, and your blessing, and your strength. Look, So there's judgment. A new phase is here, brought on by the Queen of Pentacles. Could be a protectress. She's got a victory here, and she has stopped the black square. Those who do the least to get the most, because they're a thief. They lie, they cheat, they steal. These haughty, prideful people are in a misfortune. Their house could be burning down. They've been exposed here. All of their nastiness has been exposed. We're letting go of all that negativity. We're returning to a state of peace. You're very strong here, and they're heavily burdened by your happiness. This troll is very hostile right now because you're not giving trolls and vampires and mask wearers, deceivers, you're not giving them a house. Commitment. They're very hostile and unfriendly regarding your commitment to family, to home, to whatever. And this is just an unfriendly, hostile troll who wants to wear masks and pretend to be other people and steal from them and suck the life force out of them. You know the truth of it. So they're really upset over your commitment to each other and family. Hierophant, High Priestess. The relationship with these ones is ending. You're in that boat. You're releasing that baggage. You know the truth of it. You're in your Queen of Wands energy, and you're like, look, mask wearer, look, deceiver, you're not getting a house. We're not dealing with vampires anymore. We're gonna collaborate together, and we are going to have perfect harmony in our world. No vampire, no mask wearer, deceiver. You cannot have a house within the territory. You can't be here. We've got communication. Why? Because they're astral traveling, they're remote viewing, they're doing whatever. They're entering into people's houses without permission. And they're speaking into their mind, speaking into their house, trying to influence them. They want to talk. They might be trying to talk. They might be trying to telepathically communicate with you. They might be wanting to work with you, and it's like, you're just not having it. Scavenge. Oh, the Hierophant's here bringing about death to those who were, to these weird romantic proposals. No more of that, where they're going to go legit now. And they're in danger and under judgment for what they were trying to do to the future of this Hierophant's wife. They were scavenging off of her. These scavengers. These scavengers are in danger, and they're under judgment for what they tried to do to the future of this Hierophant and his wife. King of Cups is in an Eight of Swords energy ×2, feeling helpless, facing imprisonment. The Lord is here with a billionaire status. Everybody knows who he is. This shadow demon is feeling like a victim because you focus on the lighter side of life and you've brought a conclusion to this. So, yeah, the shadow demon, or this King of Cups, he's wandering around like he's a King of Cups, but he's not. He's this. And now he's praying for forgiveness or whatever. But the Lord has plans here. This person is going to be seeing a doctor. Now, I don't know what the Lord has got planned for this guy, but he's going to need a doctor. Because the lovers are here. The High Priestess and the Hierophant are there. This High Priestess is a starseed legend. A high value, happy person. And these ones were tapping in, stealing from her, thinking how clever and how funny it was, and now they're in regret. Gifts. They're in regret for coming after the gifts of this starseed legend. They don't have the right or the knowledge or the strength or the connections to carry these gifts. They can do a lot of damage, and they have. They got full of themselves thinking they were all that, and they weren't. And they did a lot of damage wearing the gifts and the energy of this high priestess. They're in trouble because they tried to scavenge the future of the hierophant's wife, the Lord's wife. So we're going to end this conflict. They're in trauma and despair. They're having a hard time of it. We've got something happening very, very quickly. They're going to have to give the land back. They're being told, you got to give it back. It's appropriate. And what I love about it is there's no raising of the voices or arguing or anything. It's the facts. It's the truth. This is the way it is, and this is what needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen that way, I guess the Lord is going to make plans for this guy to need a doctor. They're a shadow demon. Or they might be praying to their shadow demon, whatever it is they're loyal to, this black hole soul. So your ability to love yourself and back to health has created beauty, and it has caused you a victory here. You're coming into the reward, both of you, Hierophant and High Priestess. You've got your reward. This feral simp is surprised and up in their thoughts about your growth, you being of service, your teamwork, So this feral person is surprised. They're in their thoughts. They could be thinking about working with ghosts. Maybe you're working with ghosts. But there's shadow demon in the environment with this King of Cups. So it could very well be that this King of Cups has been working in the shadows with ghosts as a team to try to thwart the future of the living, promising rewards if they could help them steal the Starseed Legends gifts. They're going at a distance. Or maybe you're going to go at a distance. Out into nature. You've grown. And you've got your freedom here. You've got your freedom from mischief and those who do it. They've been warned. These ones who cause mischief, they've been warned. They're at risk. If they do anything, they are in trouble. They're being watched as they try to mimic this person. They're trying to catfish this person with trickery, and everything they do is being watched. They're trying to spread negative influencing video, audio, and other things using the identity of this Starseed Legend High Priestess, because they want the abundance. Everything that they've done in the past with memory here has just rolled right off of her. She's flying. She's leaving, and they're in grief because she's leaving them alone. They're getting displaced. They don't get a house. She's not going to support them. She's not going to teach them what she knows because they've proven that they're too low vibrational to manage this high vibrational skill set. They can't know it. They're too low vibrational. They will hurt people seriously, and we've seen that to be true. There will be balance in the territory. Those who tried to dominate the sacred space of this high priestess and hierophant are being released in battle. They're perishing for resisting the anomaly. They didn't want the anomaly to rise and to take their rightful positions, and they tried to unalive and bury and hurt and torment. And apparently they've been doing it for lifetime after lifetime. They've been terrorizing this person. And now they're coming into their luck. They've got some protection from those who routinely work out of a skewed perspective, self-interested only, feasting on the life force vitality of starseeds. So they're making preparations. They're going to be fodder. Those who are casting illusions will be the new fodder for creatures of the night, and they're in upheaval because they were causing upheaval in people's houses. They were getting curious and they were coming in and they were causing trauma in the mind, in the house. They're anticipating a need for survival, for distracting you from your direction. You've got insight as to it, about these ones stealing your stuff. Now they're in fear because they're receiving wrath. They're getting the wrath of God. They're getting the wrath of God. They came after the high priestess, who appears to be the wife of the hierophant, the Lord, and now they're in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it clarifies something that you already intuitively knew, and I will see you on the next one, everybody.